What's up, everyone? My name's PlatinumHowler, and today we are bringing you something very different. Something that has never been on our channel before, and that is a live-commentated Wi-Fi battle. We are facing Randy, aka HLD Productions, in this game. This is part of the Pokemon Grand Prix, and he is representing the PGBL, also known as the Pokemon Global Battle League. And we are representing the Breedjects team, and that is kind of an amalgamation of lots of people from lots of different leagues. There are a couple of friends from IBL that I have in this league. MidPokeMaster is the team captain. He is one of the guys from IBL. Then there's lots of other people from various other leagues. So quickly, I will get into the team that I'm bringing here. You see the 6 Mons that I'm bringing, and the 3 Mons that I am not bringing are Dragonite, Tentacruel, and Comfey. So I'm bringing a bulk up Mew with Zen Headbutt, Psychium Z. This can kind of deal with, this is pretty much the primary defensive response to Mega Gallade, and it can boost its defense in front of it and its attack, and hopefully be able to 1v1 it that way. We have a Toxic Orb Breloom, Sub Leech Seed, Focus Punch, and Spore. So this is a pretty good response to his Crocodile, and once I get behind his sub, I can outspeed actually most of his walls, and I can break them down with Sub Leech Seed and constantly be getting recovery from the Leech Seed and Poison Heal. I have a Choice Banded Incineroar, which I'm probably going to end up leading with here. I can live pretty much, I don't think any one hit from any of his Pokemon can kill me, because I do have the Intimidate. I should be able to live close combat from Gallade if he's at -1. I have a very strange Raikou set. It's more of a support set. It has Thunder Wave to slow some things down, so that some of my other things can outspeed him and hit him. We have a Mega Steelix here with Gyro Ball, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Dragon Tail. Pretty standard, specially defensive spread with a little bit of attack. And then we have an Eject Button, Alomomola, because I love running Eject Button, and it works well with a Regenerator Mon. Pretty standard Wish, Scald, Toxic, Protect set. So without further ado, we are going to get into this game and see what kind of team that Randy decides to bring. He's got a pretty scary team. He can have Z moves on either his Kyurem Black or Kecleon, but we'll see if the Kecleon even comes. Yeah, we don't see the Kecleon, so not a very surprising team comp. The one Mon that he has 7 strong Mons, being these 6 and then Vaporeon, and then he has 2 lower tier threats that I wasn't really that afraid of, being the Sceptile and the Kecleon. So the only one that we don't see is a Vaporeon, so that is something that could have passed wishes, but we do see the Florges that is there to pass wishes. But we have our Steelix that can come in on that, take it on pretty well, Dragon Tail him out, and prevent him from getting the wish on the things that he might want HP healed off of. So probable leads on his side, like he could lead with Kyurem, Metagross, Rotom, I'm thinking, or he could lead with Crocodile for Stealth Rocks right away. We don't really know if his Crocodile is going to be the rocker over the Metagross though. But I feel pretty confident in just leading with my Incineroar. I can get some damage off against anything he decides to lead with, since I'm Choice Banded, I'm going to get a healthy chunk off on something. And if he decides to lead with the Crocodile, I'll probably just click U-turn. I don't have any hazard removal on this team, so that could potentially be annoying. He could wear my team down with rocks that way, but I mean, I have a Steelix, which doesn't care about rocks. I have a Breloom, which doesn't care about rocks. My only rocks weakness is Incineroar, but Incineroar is probably going to be going down quickly no matter what. So we're going to go ahead, lead off with our Incineroar here. and the Rotom is going to be the lead on his side. So he probably goes for a Volt Switch. So I could choose to go for a knockoff here. His only resistance would be the Florges, I believe. And I'd be doing some decent damage. But however, if he does go into the Gallade, then I'll be giving him a justified boost. So I don't know how I feel about that. If he were to like stay in and go for a Toxic or a Thunderbolt or something, and I U-turn out, what would I bring in? There's nothing really I want to bring in, so I think I'm just gonna stay in and go for the knockoff because I honestly don't have great ways of damaging this thing. It's basically just it coming in on rocks and taking damage. So yeah, he does Volt Switch out and does a little bit of damage. That definitely looks like a defensive Rotom. But we are going to get a knockoff against something. It's going to be the Crocodile. And he has Intimidate, so this is most likely going to be his Rocker. Of course, I can't stay in and U-turn out now. We knock off the Earth Plate, so we'll be reducing his damage output from Earthquake, which is good. So now I could choose to go into my this is kind of why I wanted to have the eject button on Alomomola, because I don't want to switch my Breloom hard into Crocodile before its Toxic Orb activates, because then I won't be getting a recovery from being poisoned. So if he sets up his rocks, that's fine, and he probably won't want to stay in on the next turn against Alomomola. He might want to bring in I would guess he brings in Curon, but then he runs the risk of getting Scald Burned. I can go for a Toxic and get a Toxic off against anything not named Metagross. If he goes Metagross, I can go into Steelix, get my own rocks up. So I'm definitely switching out here. It's just a matter of whether I want to go Breloom or this Alomomola here. I'm going to go Alomomola, play it safe. I don't want to get my Toxic Orb knocked off on Breloom. I bet any money that he sets his rocks here, though. And yeah, that's exactly what he goes for. I couldn't risk losing my Toxic Orb. I need to make sure that I get my Breloom in safely. So now here I could go for a Toxic, or I could go for a Wish. If I went for a Wish and he goes into Kyurem, then I can pass that into my Steelix. Because I want to be able to get my rocks up. If he stays in and attacks me, then that's totally fine with me. Yeah, I think I want to throw up a Wish. He's probably... Oh, he does stay in, actually. Okay, so that's fine with me, because my eject button is actually not going to work. I did not know that. That's kind of annoying. Huh. That is kind of annoying. Because now he can, like, I would try to pass this into Breloom, but that doesn't work for me if he goes out into the Kyurem on this turn. Kind of annoying. So I'm gonna go for Toxic now, because if he goes into, okay, he stays in, that's fine, whatever. If it goes for knockoff again. This turn is probably the turn that he goes into Kyurem. Or he might just be sacking this off, like This is his only electric immunity. Like, I'm not too sure how much he values being able to check the Raikou, because if I was Aurasphere, he wasn't like Choppleberry or anything, I could knock him out. But he does have the Rotom Heat to check Raikou as well. And obviously Florges doesn't take much damage from Raikou either. So the question is, I can go for a double toxic. I can go for a double toxic, or I can what if I pulled a switch into Incineroar, predicting a Kyurem to come in, but I'm taking rocks damage. Incineroar probably, because I have to take the rocks damage, Incineroar is only really coming in against nothing really, to be honest. Just gonna go for Toxic again. It goes for Taunt this time. I see. Okay. So Stealth Rock, Knockoff, Taunt, Earthquake, pretty standard sets. That's fine, because I can go for, if I go for Scald here, Scald plus toxic damage probably kills the Crocodile, and I have a chance to burn Kyurem. Or I could go Raikou, predict Kyurem to come out. I don't really like that play. It's better if I just bring Raikou in if he brings that out, you know. I'll just go for Scald here. He does switch into Florges, actually. No burn, and he has leftovers. So this should give us our Steelix now, so we can get up our rocks. I am not gonna hesitate making this play. I'm just gonna go out into Steelix immediately. Rocks are gonna be nice to chip down his Rotom and Kyurem, especially. And if he wants to defog them away, then he's gonna be defogging them away from my side too. So I'll take that trade. So actually put a bit of speed on my Alomomola here to maybe outspeed the Florges. Goes for Hidden Power. Ouch. Wonder what Hidden Power that is. If it's like Fire. Guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm Mega Evolving and going for rocks here for sure. Yeah. Crocodile comes back in. Mega Steelix, the 6-point Mega. Here it is on your screen, setting up the rocks. So we know that we know what his set is: Earthquake, Knockoff, Taunt. It probably doesn't go for Taunt. He could go for. Do I switch my Breloom in now to Do I switch my Breloom in now to potentially eat an Earthquake? I mean, I don't want to leave this in because Alomomola can still Wish Pass into this. Yeah, I don't... Him staying in and going for knockoff just doesn't make sense to me. He could go for taunt, but I'm fine with that. I'm gonna risk it now going to Breloom. I don't think he clicks knockoff here. Earthquake. Okay, that's good. That's good. So Breloom should be able to eat this decently, and we're gonna get our Toxic Orb activated. Well, after he takes the toxic damage of his own. So we have the Toxic Orb now. If he wants to go for Taunt, that's fine with me. I think my play here is to go for Leech Seed. Yeah, because I don't want to... I think that's... I don't need to go for sub here. Well, I could go for sub if he goes into his Rotom. There's nothing that he can do that goes beyond my sub. I mean, yeah. I am going to go for sub. Because I don't... I'm just worried about wasting a sub here. Like, because if I go for Leech Seed rather than sub, then I might end this turn at a higher amount of health. Question is, do I go for Substitute or Leech Seed? I'm not sure which is the best play. I'm going to click sub. Because he might want to go... Okay, yeah, I mean, he taunts anyway. I kind of figured he was going to do that, but that's okay. Does he go down to... Yeah, okay, so he goes down to Toxic on this turn. So I think I don't want to let my Breloom take this damage. He probably goes for... he goes for Earthquake here. So I don't want my Breloom to be taunted in this situation. So I'm gonna switch it out. Question is, what do I switch it out into? And I could go into Alomomola. That gives him Kyurem. I can go into Raikou after that. Or I could go into Incineroar, get the Intimidate off. He probably knocks me out, and then it's a... I don't want to deal with the with a potential. I don't want to deal with a potential double down. I want to see what he goes into, so that's why I'm going to go Alomomola here, and he actually goes for knockoff. So I take that pretty well. And now he goes down to Poison. So that was the main thing that Breloom was here to check, and now that his Crocodile is gone, my Mew is very free to set up because my coverage moves on Mew are Zen Headbutt and Knockoff, so I had no way of hitting his Crocodile. So I built this team in a way that kind of forced him to let his Crocodile go down. But the Kyurem does come in right here. And this is what I have my Raikou for. So I'm gonna switch Raikou in now, and I should live any hit from him that's not like I don't see him going for ICMZ here. and if he has Devastating Drake, then I'll probably die to that. But I can go into Raikou and prevent him from getting a substitute up, and then I should live any hit that's not a Z move. Let's go for Ice Beam. We'll see if he's Life Orb. I know I'm going to take one of these. He is not Life Orb. So that means he's most likely Z move. So now I'm going to click Thunder Wave. And if I can get this slowed down, then I can bring in my Choice Banded Incineroar on the next turn and go for a Flare Blitz. His only resistance is the Rotom. And if he brings that in, I'm fine with that because he's going to be taking Rocks damage. And then I pretty much just click Flare Blitz until Incineroar goes down. I think that's how I play this. Ice Beam. That's interesting that he went for Ice Beam there. I wonder what he was predicting. That actually switches out Kyurem into Florges. Huh. Maybe he was... Oh, he was probably fearing Aura Sphere from me then. So we're going to get this thing slowed down. We haven't seen... What have we seen? We've seen Hidden Power Ground. I'm guessing it was Hidden Power Ground because that also hits Raikou super effectively. I'm not sure why he would bring Hidden Power Fire. Hidden Power Ground also hits the Incineroar super effectively, so that's what I'm guessing it was. So if this thing isn't Heal Bell, then unfortunately my Alomomola can't Toxic it anymore. Do I stay in and click Iron Head against this thing? Like, I could try to Paraflinch it. We can scout out what kind of set it is. Or I could go into Aloe and... well, I have Volt Switch on this, actually. So I should just click Volt Switch. I should just click Volt Switch and save this to switch into Kyurem later, because if he is sub Kyurem, then I can have this to break his sub with. I can have this to break his sub with what's it called? The Raikou. Click Iron Head to break the sub. Hidden Power, yeah, Hidden Power Ground. Not gonna be doing much at all. So I should be able to get a. I should be able to get a Wish up now. We do outspeed him, of course, because he is paralyzed. Some Parahacks would be welcome here. Goes for Calm Mind, okay. So Calm Mind, Hidden Power, Ground. Yeah, it's definitely Ground because that was a neutral hit against me. And we're going to go immediately into... Oh, well, he probably goes Hidden Power. You know what? Right here, I'm going to go into Incineroar and hope that I can live Hidden Power Ground. I don't know if this is the right play. I don't know if I'm going to die to this or not. Yeah, who am I kidding? Of course I die to it. Why did I not go into my max special defense mon to take the hit? I don't know why. I don't know why. So I imagine Calm Mind, Hidden Power Ground, Moon Blasts. Probably should have gone Toxic on the Raikou instead of Thunder Wave, but Thunder Wave was something that I wanted to try. Probably knocks out my Steelix now with HP ground. He's got to get paralyzed eventually, and that's, I think, what I'm going to hope for here. And I'm going to go Breloom and click Substitute until he gets paralyzed. Yeah, he doesn't really know much of my set. I need to sub up, and then I need to Leech Seed him. Paralyzed in the first turn, that's good. So hopefully I can hit this Leech Seed now. And I should be able to 1v1 this. Leech Seed connects. And we are always beating this Florges from now on. Moonblast. See, he's going to have to switch out. And I can potentially get a Spore onto something. Yeah, so this is good that he's going to have to switch out now, because then I can bring in Mew to set up against a Florges that's not already at +1 special attack. Or I could go for Spore on this turn, but I don't see a point in doing that. I think I go for sub every time. Yeah, I have to go for sub here. That would be a dumb play not to sub. He actually stays in. I'm always going to 1v1 this now because I get so much recovery from him. He can't stay in. I'm forcing him to switch out eventually. I mean, he can try to stall me out of substitutes if he wants. It's a darn good thing that I didn't overpredict there and not click substitute. But substitute is definitely the play here. He continues to stay in. This is not... He can't beat me like this, and he's paralyzed again. So I get to go for Focus Punch now. And get some damage off against him, which is nice. And if he stays in again after this turn, I'm going to be up near full HP. No reason for me to go for Leech Seed or anything. I'm just going to go for the damage. Goes for Moonblast. We'll hopefully get some damage off against MC. I'm not really attack invested, so this probably only does about, like, I want to say 30%. Oh wow, that's a crit, isn't it? That has to be a crit. That wasn't even a crit? Oh my god, Breloom, you're so strong. So if he continues to leave this in, then we might just end up 1v1ing his 1v1ing this Florges with Breloom, which could be nice. Yeah, I just click sub again. Here we go. At this point, he's not going to switch it out with it at such low HP. There's the Moonblast. So what would be perfect here is if he gets fully paralyzed on the turn that Leech Seed kills him, because then I end the turn with the substitute up. But we're just going to continue to click substitute and see what happens. Hopefully the Hax Gods rule in our favor. There's the Moonblast. I don't think he's going to die to Leech Seed on this turn. So if we get a full para on the next turn, maybe, then we might be able to end this exchange behind a sub, and that would be a huge win. Leech Seed. He might survive one more turn. I think he goes down, though. Sub one more time. Pray for a full para. This is such a scummy set, but it's working perfectly. There's the Moonblast. So he breaks through. I think he got full paralyzed twice in this exchange, so I can't complain too much. It's just kind of the luck of the draw when on which turns he gets fully paralyzed and on which turns he doesn't. Maybe, hopefully he lives this actually, and I don't know, I thought he was going to go down, but it would have been nice if he lived, and then we could have tried our hand one more time at potentially getting the full para and finishing this behind a sub. So now the question is, do I save this? He does have a Rotom that I might be able to outspeed. He does have Metagross, which I should be able to outspeed, and I can get a Spore off against any one of those. So I do want to save this. And the question is, do I go into the Raikou or do I go into the Steelix? I think I go into Raikou here. So if he goes Substitute, yeah, no, I have to go Raikou here, I think. Ice Beam is going to knock us out. Okay, that's fine. So is he Scarfed? Is he, like, because this could be Scarfed to check my Dragonite. If he is Scarfed and not Z-move, then I feel safe going into, well, I would probably go into Steelix so that I can just phase him around with Dragon Tail and stuff. I want to use my Z-move on his Rotom, not on this. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't want to let his Rotom burn me. So I'm not going to go into Mew now. Right now I'm going to go into Steelix and hope that he's Scarfed, and I should be able to live a hit if he is Scarfed. And I'm going to click Dragon Tail. We'll find out if he is Scarfed or not. If he knocks me out with like an Earth Power, I don't think he does knock me out with Earth Power, because he's not Life Orb. But if he's Z Free Shock, then he probably knocks me out. I don't see a reason for him to go for sub here, so I think this is the right play. I hope I've made the right play. I don't know what he would want to switch this out into. I don't like he probably goes out into Rotom. And if he does that, then I'm happy. Yeah, he stays in. I think he's Scarfed. Okay, we get the Dragon Tail off. Wow! That's a crit. That's a dead Curum. Wow. That did so much damage. Oh my goodness. I wonder if he was negative defense nature. I can't believe how much damage that did. That's not a stab Dragon Tail or anything. Like, damn Steelix. Was not expecting that to knock out, even with a crit, but a crit would have put him in range at least to die to Stealth Rocks. Yeah, so he can go into anything he wants here. Yeah, it goes into Rotom. I don't know if he wants to defog. Do I care if he defogs? What's my play if he defogs? I think if I let this go down, like he has to click Overheat to kill me unless he clicks Will-O-Wisp. Highly doubt he's substitute Rotom. We've seen Volt Switch already, so he's probably pretty standard. His Florges was not a defogger, so this is a good bet to be a defogger actually. But I'm never going to end this exchange with rocks on his side, so there's no point in me just spamming rocks, especially when he could have leftovers. So I think Dragon Tailing him is a pretty sound play overall. And oh, he misses Overheat. Wow, that is huge. Because now when that comes back in, he's going to be very low. He's going to be very low. So I click Earthquake here. He should knock me out. Should knock me out. I'm assuming that he's going to have Earthquake, and that's going to be able to kill. Oh, he switches again. Switches back into Rotom. Does he not have Earthquake? Can he not touch my Steelix? Okay. I'm gonna make kind of a cheeky play here. I'm gonna go into my no, if he clicks defog, that's not as smart. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm gonna go into Alomomola. As he probably clicks, oh, Foul Play. Okay. Interesting. That was probably, what would that have been for? So we've seen Overheat, Foul Play, Volt Switch. Is he a Salt Vest? He might be a Salt Vest. So he probably doesn't have defog then. That would have knocked me out. He didn't have to click Overheat. Do I let him go for Volt Switch here and get a big chunk of damage off against me? I'm going to say yes, I do. And I can use Steelix as a sack if I need. What I was going to do is if he clicked Overheat, then I was going to go back into Steelix and prevent him from Volt Switching out, so that if he had to kill me with Overheat, that he would be at -4. So I could go into Breloom and click Substitute. But he pulls out the Foul Play, which I wasn't expecting. And there's Toxic. that's fine, I guess. Okay, we don't knock him out. Oh, he's got the berry. I should have known. Okay. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I should have known that or not. But at least we find out that he's not like safety goggles. So rocks are going to stay on the field. When he comes back in next time, he's going to be really low. And to a point where Mew should be able to knock him out with +1 Zen Headbutt. So he doesn't have Will-O-Wisp. We know that. So he can Toxic my Mew. But if he does, then he's going to get Toxic himself. Not that that really helps me. Probably should have not gotten cheeky and just stayed in with Steelix. I'm going to pull the switch out into it now because I don't want Alomomola to become setup fodder. That was foul play. Okay, yeah. So he would have knocked this out anyway. My play now, I'm assuming that I outspeed this. And I'm going to click Spore. I'm going to click Spore. Yeah, I do outspeed him. Because I am jolly and I put just enough... So I put enough speed on this to make sure that I outspeed... that I was faster than his Rotom if his Rotom was creeping Adamant Breloom. Because, of course, I don't really need a ton of attack investment on this. So... Substitute it is... He might switch this out. No, he doesn't switch out. Breaks up immediately. Volt Switch does not break my sub. Unless he's really offensive. Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. So I can click Spore again because his Rotom is not asleep. Or I can click Leech Seed because I'm not actually sure if this is like a safety goggles Metagross. If he is, then clicking Spore would not be a good play. So I'm going to click Leech Seed first. Oh, he switches out. Goes into Rotom. Okay. I wonder if he thought I was going to go for Focus Punch on that turn. I know that I'm faster, so I can go for Spore again. Yeah, I can go for Spore again, and then... hopefully he has a 2-turn sleep this time and I knock him out with Focus Punch. So he should go down. Yeah, he goes down to the next turn of Leech Seeds, but there's no sense in me not clicking Focus Punch here. And I hope that he stays asleep for a second turn, because if I do, that means he can't break my substitute. If he gets 2 one-turn sleeps in a row, I'm going to be kind of upset. Switches out. Why? I'm going for Focus Punch. I'm going to get a huge chunk of damage off against this. And Rotom's dead to rocks now. But I can't put anything else asleep. I can't put anything else asleep. So I can't put his Gallade to sleep. That is the key thing. But I can Leech Seed him. So I'm never going to end this exchange behind a sub. So there's not much point in clicking Leech Seed, because if I miss and I don't outspeed him, then I kind of have screwed up. So Focus Punch has to be the play for me. Explosion, okay. Yeah, he was going to go down on that turn no matter what. Damn, if he outsped me and I went for sub on that turn, that would have been nice. But alas, doesn't work out that way. So Gallade comes in now, and basically as long as I can kill this thing, I'm going to win. I can't go for Spore. If I miss Leech Seed here, then I'm screwed. I think I should just go hard into Mew and click Psychium Z right away. It's too bad. At this point, I wish I was Munium Z, but of course I'm not. So we'll see what he wants to go for here. Hopefully it's not Swords Dance. Zen Headbutt. Okay, we take those. So I should be able to go for Bulk Up here, actually. But is there even much point in that? Because if I risk getting crit, all I need to hit him with is Z-move plus 1 more attack and I win. So I don't think I need to click Bulk Up. I'm just going to click the Z move right away as he goes for X Scissor. Please don't kill me. Okay. This shouldn't kill him. It's going to come down to whether or not I can beat him with Alomomola Scald, or I can try to Toxic him. Well, that did a lot. Yeah, he kills me on this turn. He always kills me. So we've seen X Scissor, we've seen Zen Headbutt. Scald's not going to kill this thing. I need to go for Toxic and hope that he doesn't have Drain Punch. Because if he has Drain Punch, he's going to be recovering a lot of HP. Zen Headbutt. Don't flinch me, please. Toxic. Connects. Okay, I think that's going to give us the game. Of course, I go for Protect on this turn. And we'll see whether or not... he dies to this turn of poisoning. And if he doesn't, then I have to switch out into Breloom to sack it off. Close combat. I wonder if that would have knocked me out. Okay, he does die, so that's going to be it for Gallade, and Rotom's going to come in, and it's going to die to Rock's damage, and we're going to win this game 2-0. So a very good game to Randy. My Breloom set worked out so well. That Florges was kind of scary, but I knew if I at least got it status in some way, I was going to be able to beat it one way or the other, whether it was Toxic or Paralyzed. Because eventually I was going to have to get a Paralysis against it, and then I could get Elite Seed off against it to wear it down. I was always going to be able to beat it that way. So not the most conventional Breloom set, but I really wanted to try out Breloom for this reason, because it's actually quite a good Edgequake resist, and it was a really good response to his Crocodile. And I could build it, bring that set to really make Crocodile useless, and then once Crocodile was down, I could Z anything with my Mew. I got a lot of damage off against his I got a lot of damage off against his Gallade, just enough to the point where I could win. So I hope you enjoyed that battle. We help out Team Breedjects with a 2-0 win right there for week 2 of the Pokemon Grand Prix, and we should be back next week for week 3, where we will be taking on a coach from the APA, which is going to be a really exciting match. So we'll see you then.